Hi, Earth Science Lovelies. Miss Color talking about atmosphere. I want to talk to you about some air fronts. And so when two air masses meet, that's technically what an air front is. And here's a picture of what a warm air front looks like. You've got cold, dense air here and warmer, less dense air here going over it. And what happens at a front, the weather is going to change and there's going to be clouds and precipitation, okay? And then there's what a cold front looks like, where you have the cold front is coming in and is forcing the warm air up, and then normally you would see clouds right here, okay? There's three main types: cold front, warm front, stationary. However, there's another one called occluded. All right, so for the cold front, the description is a mass of cold, dense air moves in. Warmer air is pushed up because of density. And when that condenses, there's going to be precipitation. The weather that normally occurs at cold fronts would be a lot of heavy storms. Okay, and there's your clouds that form. Those are storm clouds. And weather you will find after are cool and clear skies. Ways to identify that the front is occurring: heavy storms, a drop in temperature, and barometric pressure drop. I always knew when it was time in the winter for snow to watch the news, and if I saw the barometric pressure drop, I knew that we were going to have a good snowstorm and probably get out of school. This is what a cold front looks like again, just like I just showed you. Okay, so here is a warm front. Okay, and basically it's a mass of warm air moving in. The warm air moves above / on top of the cold air. Moisture condenses and produces heavy cloud cover. So you're going to have hours of rain and snow, and it's not crazy heavy, it's just going to be a long time of it. There are your clouds for this type of front. Weather you will find after, it's a warm front, so you're going to be left with warmer weather. How do I know that there's a warm front? Steady rain. So like I said up here, hours of rain. So steady rain, a temperature increase, okay, and the barometric pressure is going to drop for this one as well, okay. All right, now for a stationary front, when air masses stop moving. If you're stationary, you're not moving. So the air can still move a little bit sideways, but the fronts themselves are kind of butting heads. Whatever front advances first will decide what the weather is going to be. So it is up in the air as to, that was kind of funny, I didn't mean to say that, but it's kind of funny, up in the air. Weather that occurs at the boundary is whether it's going to be a warm or a cold front. So that's what I put here. It could be either or. A noticeable temperature change and or a change in wind direction. Okay, so you see how they're fighting each other here, basically. Okay, so that is what the basis of the air fronts are. So now let's look at this one. Okay, so weather fronts, boundary separating air masses. Okay, they have different densities and temperatures and humidities. Okay, the main idea of a warm front is you need to know that there is a low pressure system at a warm front and a high pressure system at a cold front. And I can't stress how important that is. Okay, the main idea of a occluded front is a high pressure system, and that's obviously important. And a stationary front is going to be either or, depending on which one advances first. Okay, so the essential details, okay, I didn't draw the models because we've already seen the models. So these are the main ideas. For a warm front, warm air slides over the cold air mass. Cold front, cold air pushes under a warm air mass. An occluded front is when two cool air masses meet and merge, and they force warm air up between them. And then a stationary front is going to be warm or cool front, stops moving. It can last for several days. All right, those are the types of clouds that you're going to see with each one. a warm front, a cold front, an occluded front, and a stationary front is going to have evaporation and humidity. You've already covered clouds before in, see, 5th grade and in middle school, so that's why I'm not really focusing on the types of clouds right now. What you're going to see with a warm front is humidity, so that's water vapor in the air, and it's going to cover a wide area with some light precipitation. You're going to get some heavy rain, but it's normally in a really tiny area. It's not a very broad area. And for an occluded front, you're going to have strong winds, heavy precipitation over a wide area. Okay, so there's the difference, the narrow versus the wide area. And for an stationary front, you could have light winds, light precipitation, but mostly clear, mostly. Okay, because they're not going to have as much of an effect. Okay, and there are some different ways to look at them. Okay, the warm front, the cold front. Okay, there's your occluded front and stationary front. So you do have to be able to recognize the weather symbols that they put on the maps. Okay, these are going to be blue. These are going to be red. Okay, so when they go together, they're still going to be blue and red, and then blue and red. So know the difference between those four. Okay. What's important to understand about this, when a front passes over an area, there's always going to be some sort of change in temperature, whether it's up or down. The wind speed is going to change, the direction of the wind is going to change, the atmospheric pressure is going to change, and the precipitation pattern is going to change. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a little overview of air fronts to clear up any confusion. I hope this helped. Thanks.